What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of the King's Corner, where today we're talking about, in celebration of the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray release, it's Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. Then we're going to be talking about Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, and closing with Netflix's new Adam Sandler film, You Are So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah. And that's this week on the King's Corner. Thank you guys so much for popping in and joining us for another episode, where firstly we talk about one of my favorite Tim Burton films, Sleepy Hollow. This just newly releasing to 4K Blu-ray, was able to watch the film on 4K, and firstly, I'll just say that the transfer and the image is incredible. There is so much depth and dimension added to this image. The original Blu-ray, needed a upgrade for sure, and this definitely is an upgrade. And it's an incredible transfer for a great movie. I mean, this really is a terrific film. This is the classic Headless Horseman story with a twist. So that's really what it is. The whole film is this sort of mystery. Who's controlling the Headless Horseman? Johnny Depp plays Ichabod Crane. Christina Ricci plays Katrina Van Tassel, with an all-star cast in this film. Ian McDermott. You have Richard, whoever played Uncle Vernon, Richard something, I believe. So many great actors. You have Michael Gambon as Baltus Van Tassel in this. I mean, there's just so many incredible actors, and the acting in this movie is phenomenal. Everybody is doing such a good job. And the screenplay as well. I mean, the script is so on point. With the screenplay from, let's see, Anthony Kevin Walker wrote the script to this, and the script is just so on point. It is from beginning to end. I mean, the pacing as well, the editing for this movie. I mean, it's just like it takes you on this journey from the opening scene, which is so well realized, so well shot. The whole movie's cinematography is incredible. It's Oscar nominated cinematography, Oscar winning production design. I mean, this movie feels so immersive. Sleepy Hollow feels like a real place. It's so creepy, and it's just excellent. Tim Burton did an excellent job with this movie. And Johnny Depp as well. It's one of my favorite Johnny Depp characters. If you guys can see, I do have the original 1999 action figure release from the movie of Ichabod Crane. Got a nice little Johnny Depp kind of collection area as well, with some Funkos and stuff. But he's excellent in this film as Ichabod Crane, who is not as much on the supernatural side, but he's on the side of science and cause and consequence. Seeing is believing for him. And then as the story starts to unfold and he starts to actually start seeing these things, he is able to evolve and change as a character. And I love that aspect of it, and I love that character. I think the overall twist, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but the overall twist at the end of the film, to finally understand who's controlling the Headless Horseman and who has the skull, and all that, and who's the one behind the curtain. That's the only point of the movie where I'm like, okay, makes sense. Is it a little convoluted? Maybe, maybe not, but it's just kind of like, oh, okay, it's well written, but it's not like, whoa, in your face, like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's just like, oh, okay, well, that was, definitely not as shocking as I thought it would be. So yeah, but the whole sequence at the end, and the windmill and the chase and the finale of the thing, I think it's all just really good. It's really interesting where you see Christopher Walken in this film, and how his teeth are sharpened and all that. It's great. And one of the final things I want to mention about this movie is Danny Elfman's score. I think this is one of Danny Elfman's best soundtracks. The theme to this movie is so memorable. And all the themes, just the tone and vibe and feel of the score for this movie. Danny Elfman's music blends perfectly with Tim Burton's tone. This is a great movie, and Sleepy Hollow is a 4.5 out of 5 star movie for me. I'm not going to give it a 5. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but the only thing that holds it back for me is that third act twist. Not that I didn't like it, but I just feel like it was, I don't know, a little basic, maybe not. I don't know. Regardless, it didn't bother me or ruin the movie for me or anything. So this is a great film, and we're getting into that October month. And if you haven't seen Sleepy Hollow, now's the perfect time to do it. It's just released on 4K Blu-ray. Check it out. I highly recommend it. You're not going to be disappointed. And the beheadings in this as well. I mean, it's all so great. I mean, it's all so well realized. So that's where I'm at with Sleepy Hollow. Next, we're talking about Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. Yeah, what to say about this film? This is a weird movie. You watch this film and you don't really know what's going on. But then there's lines of dialogue at the end of the film that say, you don't really understand what's going on, but just keep going. Maybe that's kind of similar to life. Sometimes we don't understand things, but we have to continue to live and move forward. So I think there's some underlying messages in the film by Wes Anderson that I thought was interesting. Line of dialogue that kind of stuck with me. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. That was kind of that whole thing. It was just kind of a head scratcher. But a lot of the film is a whole head scratcher. But there's a sequence in this movie that takes place in the asteroid. That's sort of a memorial, not a memorial service, but it's a service that takes place because this is where a huge asteroid hit, and there's still the remnants of the thing in this area. So people come out, they stay at the hotels, they stay in the area, they watch this little event that takes place that Tilda Swinton conducts. And there's something that happens in this sequence that I thought was shot really interesting, and I thought that what you see is also really interesting, and just kind of, I don't want to say powerful, but I kind of loved that sequence. There's a sequence in the middle of the movie that you see, something happens, and it's so mesmerizing in a way. And then something similar happens towards the end of the film, and it's just interesting. And that's what this film was, interesting. It's very slow. I think it's very slow pace. I don't really care about any of the characters, but it's the scenario that I was into more than the actual characters. Jason Schwartzman, Tom Hanks, Scarlett Johansson, they're all great. I think Bryan Cranston is excellent as the narrator of the film. Willem Dafoe is a tiny little piece in this. Adrian Brody, Edward Norton, a lot of the regulars for Wes Anderson type films. But this is not a movie that I'm going to rewatch, but it's not a movie that I don't like either. This is just like kind of a movie that I'm totally indifferent to, and it just is there and it exists. And did I take anything from it? I don't think so, but it did. I did kind of really enjoy certain aspects of it. So Asteroid City is like, I'm gonna give it like 3.5 out of 5 stars, to be honest with you. There is something about it that I did really enjoy, but it also really does have that tone of a Wes Anderson film, and he's sort of kind of going overboard with it at this point. I didn't see his last movie, but this movie did see, obviously, that's why we're talking about it, and it is very much so Wes Anderson. So if you don't like that type of film, uh, that's what you're getting. You're getting total style over substance in this movie. So just be prepared for that when and if you see it. So the final film we're going to be talking about is the new Adam Sandler comedy on Netflix, You Are So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah, which stars Adam Sandler. It stars Adam Sandler's two daughters. The one daughter is the lead of the film, and his wife is also in the film. So it's an Adam Sandler family movie in a sense, to where his daughter is going to be having a bar mitzvah. She's got a best friend. Best friend's going to be having a bar mitzvah. It's a whole thing that happens. It's a sort of rite of passage type thing. And she's just kind of going through things, with friends and boys and stuff like that. This movie feels very much so a different version of Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Due to the fact that she continues to talk to God in the film. She says, "Dear God," or "God, it's me," several times. So it is very much like that because both characters are having the same kind of conversations. It's not a bad thing. It's just a comparison. She's great in the film, though. I don't know if I don't know if she's acted in any other movies, but she's very good as the lead in this movie. She's very believable, and you can really feel you know, these actors as a family. Adam Sandler feels like the father because he is the father in real life. So I guess they're not really acting in that sense. But I mean, they're playing a different family, of course, because the wife plays the mother of the best friend. So Idina Menzel plays Adam Sandler's wife, which is kind of reuniting them from one of my favorite films, Uncut Gems. So that was nice to see them have a much calmer, cool, calm, and collected kind of relationship. The film takes a little while to get going. Once it does get going, once it does get its footing, I like it. I think it does have a personality, does have a flair to it, but by the time it ends, it is extremely cliched and a little corny at the same time. So in the end of the day, this is a good film. It's not a great film, and would I recommend it? Yes, I would. I think it's got heart, and it is one of the better comedies of 2023. And look, this is another 3.5 out of 5-star movie for me. What am I going to choose over this or Asteroid City? Of course, I'm going to choose this, but this is a different type of film. It's a different type of 3.5. So at the same time, I can't even think about the two like that because it's two different experiences and two different kind of films. So for what this movie is, it's a 3.5 out of 5-star movie. And that's it. That's the reviews for this week, guys. Comment down below. Do you plan on picking Sleepy Hollow up on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray? Do you plan on seeing Asteroid City? It's out on Blu-ray. It's out on digital. The other film's out on Netflix. The Adam Sandler film. All that's available. Check that stuff out. Look, I'm going to plan on seeing as much as I can. There's so many movies that came out in cinemas that I miss, trying to catch these things on streaming, Blu-ray, whatever the case may be. So what is going to be reviewed in next week's episode of The King's Corner, I can't tell you, but you know what? It's going to be a surprise for you and for me, so I guess that'll be exciting. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for weekly live shows. We do digital giveaways, new films that I pick up on 4K and Blu-ray and stuff like that. Sleepy Hollow code was given away yesterday, so come on over. Maybe you guys can check that live for a chance to win the digital copy code. The codes are given away through live trivia. So for more on that, come on, check those videos out. And also follow me on Twitter, Ranking72, and Instagram and TikTok at King Rises 131. That's been it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of The King's Corner. And until next time, over and out.